One of these motherfuckers different.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Sharp Mind Podcast. It is September 17th, 2020, and today I am honored and privileged to be sitting with the beautiful and talented and someone I truly admire.
Thank you.
Thank you, Naisha Wilson, CEO and founder
Women Build Women.
of Women Build Women. And a little bit, I was talking to you a little bit before the show. I know this is all about Women Build Women, and you got a whole mission and a vision for it and everything. But I'm a man, and some of the wisdom and power that you done gave me to continue to move on, some of the help you've been in my life, just with your words, some of your donations, you helped me tremendously out with the youth empowerment event.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
August 23rd, all the book bags and stuff you donated, the supplies and stuff. Man, honestly, Naisha, I cannot say how much I appreciate you and how much I am thankful for you.
Thank you.
Truly,
I appreciate that. I appreciate you letting me, with my new business services, come in and be a help out to you.
No doubt. That's easy. You know,
Definitely.
You know, was while I'm on this journey, meeting people that's like-minded, meeting people that actually see some greatness in me and support me and give me that faith. I know I'm a man and we women build women, but
Right.
you a woman who truly done built up a man and gave me a lot of courage and confidence to keep on pursuing and doing what I'm doing. And I have to start the show out by thanking you.
No problem,
Thank
Dre.
you
And I
so
want to
much.
say, yes, my main focus is women right now because I'm just getting started. But eventually, I do want to do something for my fellas. I'm not going to leave y'all out. But yes, right now we on Women Build Women.
Okay. And even the name is beautiful. I know your mission a little bit because, of course, I kick it with you about it.
Definitely.
But tell me a little bit about how this came, how this idea came about. How did it start? Why would you, a woman, even take the time out to be building up other women?
This started back in 2016. That's when the vision came forth. I was living in a women's shelter myself in Houston, Texas.
You,
Yes, sir.
a woman's shelter.
I had quit 2 jobs, 2 nursing jobs, packed me and my son up, came, and we left town. I was going through some things, and I had just separated, so I wanted to get away and a fresh start. Didn't care what I left behind and or who, long as me and the baby was good.
What made you choose Houston?
I asked Caden where did he want to move, Arizona, Florida, or Texas, and Caden said Texas, so that's where we was at.
Is that how that worked?
Yes, it did.
I always wanted to be,
Yes,
like
it
just tell my
was.
mama where I want to go. And
Because it was a drastic change for me and
Okay.
him. So I wanted him to be comfortable and feel like he had a say-so in what he really didn't have a say-so in. You know what I mean? I wanted him to feel like he had options, that he could choose the route. So he chose Houston. We packed up, got there, was sitting, living in a women's shelter for 3 months. During those 3 months, like I said, that's when the vision came about.
Wow.
I was being helped tremendously from the pastor from Embassy Covenant Church in Houston. Shout out to Janice Crawford.
Pastor Janice.
Pastor Jan.
Pastor
That's
Jan.
my spiritual mom.
Hey, Pastor.
She kept us covered from the time we was there until the time we left. Not only Pastor Jan, everyone in the congregation, my mom friends who was sent down there to help or who just gave encouraging words. So, I had a lot of women to build me in that moment. And that's when my vision came to want to give back. But, of course, I was still in that moment. So I couldn't or didn't have the courage to start a mentoring service. I didn't have a mind frame at the time to continue to push. I wasn't strong enough within myself to start it.
Wow.
So, of course, years went past. Now, here we are in 2020. That was back in 2016.
Yeah, and this is what we doing.
This is what we doing now. Women build women, okay? Fast forward, March, the pandemic came about, COVID-19. It kind of took me off of work. I'm an LPN, so I was in the nursing
Certified?
field. No, licensed.
Please forgive me.
Please.
Licensed.
I'm a licensed practical
Hey, let's
nurse.
get it. Hey, we on the Sharp Man podcast. Okay, you were just saying?
I was saying that I'm a licensed LPN, and when the pandemic hit, all the schools and daycare shut down. By me being a single mother, I had to choose between going to work, putting on that superhero outfit, putting on that blue, and going to save lives, or stay at home and ensure that both of my 2 children's lives were taken care of and they was okay.
Hey, King Katie. Hey, Princess Nyla.
But from being in those situations in 2016 with just me and my son, it geared me to be able to say, I don't know what's going to come next, but my kids got to come first.
No doubt.
So I stepped down from nursing, and during those 4 months of me not working, I wasn't getting no income, no unemployment, anything. But during that time, I knew it was time to become closer to God because of what was going on in the world. Like, it was just so crazy. Everything was just chaotic. So I started praying, asking God to give me a vision for a business name for an AFC home, adult foster care home, because, of course, I still want to do that as well. Laying down, going into prayer, the name Women Build Women came to me. So, of course, I woke up and I'm asking God, well, what is Women Build Women? Like, that's not an AFC home. You know what I'm saying? Name. And that original vision in 2016 came back to me.
Being in that shelter.
Being in that shelter. That is your mentoring service name. It's funny, I don't know if, you're spiritual or anything, but I am.
Very
I
much
believe
so.
in God. I want to
Hey,
walk in my destiny in Him. I want to walk in His victory.
You don't have to be ashamed.
I go to God for everything, confirmation, wisdom, knowledge. So when He brought that to me, I prayed harder. Well, God, since you brought the name Women Build Women to me, continue to give me that vision. Continue to give me ideas to build my mentoring service, to build different women. And I kept pushing. July of 2020, finally started getting some income in on myself. I went ahead and I LLC. So yes, my business is state registered.
Congratulations.
Women Build Women LLC. Okay.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations.
I started there first. I didn't want to push my business without it being state registered. I want to say legit, done the right way. After that, we did a few pop-up shops. I have sponsored, thanks to you, the back-to-school drive. That was awesome. And I'm still continuing to try to find different things where I can be of help, and not just with women, but with the youth as well, too.
You're good. You're sweet. And just thinking, wow, like, from a shelter to somebody who helped women who come from where you come from.
Yes.
Feel me? That's so dope. That's so big. That's so dope. And I can tell you, personally, I just struggle with courage. I didn't struggle with confidence.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, I guess the transition. I mean, where do you get that from? The time you was in the shelter, struggling, going through what you was going through.
Mm-hmm.
What takes place in that time for where you get that burning desire to be like, look, I'm about to just jump off the porch and I got to do this.
Well, I want to say, in your darkest moments, in those moments when you are your weakest, I think that's when you're being your strongest, because you're pushing through. You're pushing through situations certain people can't get through. Certain people wouldn't dare even think about being in. So that's where my courage came from. And when I would get through a situation and I would see the sun still shining and God still had grace and mercy on me, that gave me courage to keep pushing. When I got through that next situation, I seen that God still had grace and mercy over me, and it gave me continuing courage until one day, of course, the idea came about And that was an issue for me, courage. Putting myself back out there in the forefront after taking myself away, hiding who I was, hiding my business, you know what I mean? So I had to pray for courage,
No doubt.
you know what I mean? To want to be back on the forefront, to want to share my story, to want to help different women who've been in my situation. I have friends and family who are or have been in my situation and haven't spoken on it because they feel like they'll be judged or other women not going through it.
Ironically, Queen Aisha, of Women Build Women, I relate to your story so much. You know, I talk about it on every chance I get. Struggling with confidence, struggling with courage, scared to live in my own skin.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like,
Walking in your own truth.
I remember walking around. I remember it was a summer day one time, 95 degrees outside. I got my hoodie on. I know because I'm trying to avoid people who might ride past and see me. It's a lot of bees and stuff out here at the congregation, so please forgive us. But we not about to get stung. I've never been stung. But,
I have, and I ain't trying to again.
But
okay.
I mean, literally, I know that feeling, a hiding away from the world.
Yeah.
There's times now where I be looking at things that I'm doing and some of the feedback I be getting from people. Of course, negativity rules the world. That's what makes people talk and do all that. And I'm out here trying to talk about persevering and overcoming and, you know, how do you get over these humps? How do you get over these humps? You feel me? Where do you get that courage and that fire from to be able to go get on front of the camera and try to help people and talk to people and educate folks on perseverance? On look here, it ain't gonna be easy. It ain't gonna be just a walk in the park.
Okay,
You feel me?
Queen.
Anything
Okay.
worth having and anything great is gonna be hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially if you know if this is what you really want. Like, so I struggle with just that whole.
Confidence and putting yourself out there.
It's mental.
And quieting the noise of the negativity. Yeah. Because everybody not going to support you. And I heard that word on the Sunday service. Don't be discouraged. It's going to be your family and your friends who really don't support you the most like you think they will. But don't fall out. Don't fall back. You continue to pray and you ask God to send you the clientele that you need for your business. And you take off with that. Eventually, family and friends are going to pick up and support because they're gonna want to be a part of that light that's shining upon you.
Absolutely.
So
I
I had to tell myself because I'm one of them people. Like, listen, I done supported you through everything, and you can't do this. So I have been there. I had to tell myself, and I'm glad I did because it put me in a good space with some of the things that I've been doing for my business, but not the support so much that I wanted rendered to me with family and friends.
And I think it's important to say, or even to ask you, when you started, I don't really, like, you had a vision in mind. Like, you wanted to help others.
Yeah.
It really wasn't about the support or the feedback.
No. And I think that's why I
Constantly
get so
gotta-
much comfort in it. I want to give back. I want to give back to women how I was giving back to. I want to constantly continue to encourage. I want my own women's transition home. That's what Women Build Women is truly about. Starting a women's transition home and building women across the nation and the youth as well. If we have a solid foundation as a woman, we can go through anything and get through it and continue to keep our foundation solid. But if we're everywhere, if we don't know where we stand, we don't know where we're laying our head, we don't know how to get a job, if we don't know how to start a career, if we don't know how to do this in parenting, it kind of brings chaos in our life.
And if you're scared to ask for help.
And if you're scared to ask for help,
Come on now. Talk to me.
it'll put you behind.
Talk to me.
I have been the person to give to the point where I was broken down and I had to be given to. And it hurted at first. It hurted for other people to have to loan me money. It hurted that this LPN, young nurse, who don't have too many bills, but one son can't pay rent, can't pay car note. You know what I mean? But it was the things that was going around in my life, the distractions, my foundation was not solid, even though I thought it was, until those women started building me. My mother, she locked on and she built me. My mother friend, she locked on to her and she was building her as my mother was building me. My aunt locked on this side. She was building me. And who was locked on to my aunt? Pastor Janice, while she was building her. And it's just a cycle of women building women. So yes, women was building me, but it was also other women building the women that was trying to help me, because it was times where they felt like they couldn't help no more of the situations I was going through. So they needed somebody to talk to as well about what was going on in my world, in my life, with them trying to help me. So I think if we just be open to each other, if we listen to each other, give each other friendly advice, that we can build up each other around the world. It don't have to be criticism or down talking or downplaying or anything. You don't have to hide your struggles. Don't mean that you have to put it on the forefront, but you don't have to hide your struggles to every woman of what you're going through.
And you don't have to be ill or negative to another woman just because. That was one of the key points you touched on too, on some of your experiences. Like, Dre, I done had some women do this and do that.
Yes. And that's another thing. Like, women be women, I got so many ideas for within, but eventually I'm going to get that women's transition home. However, we go through things at work. I have been terminated and let go of jobs because the supervisor didn't like me. Who is a black woman. Or because the nurse that I'm working alongside of didn't get along with me. And she gets along with the DON and administrator and the unit manager. Well, now I got management riding me because my coworker don't care for me. Like postpartum depression, things with our children, finding child care, being single mothers, going through domestic violence. It's so much that we hold as women, and that we don't talk about because we fear being judged. I want to touch on all those points. I do have some more points to touch on too as well, and that's why I'm doing a podcast. My podcast will be geared toward figuring out a topic, just like as I said, maybe postpartum depression, bringing on a few ladies, giving their testimonies on how they went through postpartum depression and how they came through it, and how we can continue to build other women through postpartum depression. Women build women.
Yeah.
So
Oh, thank you.
that's where I'm going
Thank
with
you
my
for
podcast.
serving her.
You touched on domestic violence. I am so open and so ready to have this uncomfortable conversation on domestic violence.
I am too. This will be my first time speaking on my personal life experience with domestic violence. I do want to say, Women Build Women is not only about domestic violence, because we do go through so much things. But it is one of the forefronts that brought me to this right here, going through domestic violence. So yes, we're going to touch on that. November is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I will be pushing merchandise through Women Build Women to give back to a family or a woman who have been through domestic violence. So look out for that, please.
Well, and also, like, kind of going through it, like you said, you've been through it.
Oh, good point.
Do you feel like you can save some young women, or save some women from, or maybe even direct them to the right energy to probably get out of certain certain harmful situations?
Being a domestic violence survivor myself, you can be a helping hand, but it's ultimately up to that woman to not want to live that way no more. And at first it used to hurt to hear that. Like, I don't want to live like this. I don't want to go through this. But it's up to that woman. That fire burns in you one day. It might be 3 months from him hitting on you and you going through domestic violence, or it might be 3 years after. But that fire finally starts to burn in you when you don't want your children seeing it no more. You you don't want to be a part of it no more. It's breaking you down to where you can't physically be yourself. You can't provide for yourself. You get tired of it, and that fire burns in you to want to come out. As far as mentoring services go, all I can do is be an encouraging voice. I can help send resources to get out of the situation. Continue to be a mentor and counseling her through the situation, or send her to decent counseling, but it's ultimately up to that woman to want to come out of that situation.
And these podcasts and stuff that you have, where you gonna have them at?
With the Sharp Mind.
That's my baby.
Okay.
Let's get it. We're on the Sharp Mind podcast. Okay. Look, everything that you're talking about is dope. I really feel like it's a huge asset to bring the information and bring the conversation and to bring this open discussion to the Sharp Mind podcast. I myself can't wait to express some of my experiences that I've been through with, domestic violence and, dealing with, let's just say people who don't necessarily love like we think they should love in return. Like I done sacrificed so much of myself and my livelihood, and it's not always reciprocated in return.
No, it's not.
Depending on, it's so important that we choose good mates and positive people to be with, because they can truly bring you down.
They can truly hinder
your
blessings.
You doing shit that you never, excuse my language, how you doing shit that, you never
what they
dreamed.
Thought you would
never
experience
thought you would experience
or go through.
You feel me?
Yes.
So I'm gonna save it, but I can't wait till we get.
Excuse me, sir. We're in the middle of doing a podcast, so if you don't mind, next time when you walk past, you walk that way.
Sorry, I didn't see it.
Oh no, it's fine. That's why I wanted to make you aware.
Thank you.
Hey,
Sorry, we're women be a women.
That's so beautiful. We not even gonna cut that. I need.
Go ahead.
All right, look. Okay, before I get into some of the current events and some of the things that's going on in the world, you also spoke on transitional homes. And and I believe they call it AFC homes.
No, my goal is to start an AFC home. That's up under my nursing license. That's adult foster care home.
Okay.
That's dealing with taking care of patients outside of the nursing facility, inside of a home setting. The women's transition home is for women to come who have been in situations, who have nowhere to go, and need housing until they can get back up on their feet.
So for instance, a female out there with a family or a son or a daughter going through some of these situations that we just spoke on,
definitely,
be able to reach out to Women Be a Women and get to safety.
Yes. Eventually. Once I get my women transition home. You can call me now if you need just a listening ear. Your business will not be voiced anywhere. I have a lot of resources geared towards counseling, resources with helping with your kids and school clothes, school supplies, resources with help getting your rent paid, resources with food, because we all don't get food stamps, or we all might not have the money after paying our bills to get that refrigerator full. So I do have resources regarding that too as well. Food pantries you can go to. A lot of different resources I have for my women and my youth. But you gotta call. You gotta take advantage of the Women Be a Women mentoring service.
Well, it's only right. Let's talk about how can they get in contact with you, like social media, phone number, anything like that.
On Facebook and Instagram, you can search Women Be a Women or Virtuous Woman 222.
And
my email is wbwcpride@gmail.com, and that's Women Be a Women with Pride, but of course it's short, wbwcpride@gmail.com.
And I'm gonna speak on it because it's on the card, and you could you probably gonna cuss me out for it, but y'all also can give women Queen Aisha of Women Be a Women a call at area code 713-261-5545. And I can attest, she answers her phone.
Yes, I do. And I'm not mad at him for putting that out there because it is on the business card. And I do want the women to feel like they can give me a call at any time because I am just starting off. So I want to be there to help.
For sure. And this is what we're doing on the Shot Man podcast today. And Aisha Wilson of Women Build Women.
Hey.
Let's get it. All right.
Not yet.
Let's get as much information about these transitional homes out there as possible.
Okay, well, I'm just starting. I know of a few women's transition homes. And in the women's transition home, you usually have to share a room, or you're in a big room with a bunch of different beds or cots, as you may. Well, the one I stayed in, I had the pleasure of being in my own room with my own bathroom. So me and Kaden had a lot of people in that women's shelter that we was in for those 2.5 months. My Women Build Women profit organization, women's shelter, it would have 3 phases. I wanted to have 12 bedroom, 2-bedroom apartment style women transition homes. You understand what I mean? I want 12 apartments, 2 bedrooms. No more than 4 children, because by this being a registered state business, we have to make sure that each child has a bed and a room to sleep in, so forth with the mother and parent as well. Can't have too many women and children in one 2-bedroom apartment. But it would allow them to have their own space to clear their mind and to get through the things that they're doing without having another woman issues right next to her. Women Build Women is geared off of 1 Timothy 2 verse 10. Of course.
You know I had that. Can you please,
I try to pray about everything. God is my counselor.
please tell me what 1 Timothy 2-10 says.
For women who claim to be devoted to God should make themselves attractive by the good things they do. I feel that on so many levels.
You gotta say that one more time.
Women who claim to be devoted to God should make themselves attractive by the good things they do. I know my hair might be cute. Shout out to Main Strip Salon, Drea, who got me together.
My sis,
Okay, Takia, owner of Main Strip Salon.
Shout out.
Nails might be a little cute, but I find myself attractive by the good things that I do. And I always have, before I even stumbled across this scripture. Women Build Women transition home will have 3 different phases. Phase 1 will run from 6 to 8 weeks. And I'm going to just name a few different things that will go on during these phases. I'm not going to get too deep into it. In phase 1,
If you want to.
okay. Phase 1 is getting to know yourself, healing and counseling, working on parenting, working on your character, charisma, and the capacity of things that you can hold in and take. Working on your goals, credit repair, start there. Phase 2 will also run 8 weeks, and that's bringing your goals forward. Looking into housing for yourself, because eventually you want to be able to be on your own. The Women Build Women transition home will only run 6 months, a little bit longer if needed. Learn how to walk in your truth. Learn how to walk in your truth. And I'm going to say it one more time. Learn how to walk in your truth. So many of us hide who we really are to cater to who's around us. Once you learn how to be yourself in front of and around everybody, it makes for a better atmosphere. It makes for a peaceful mind. You can get through and around many different things. Walking in your truth is just... We're going to elaborate on that one a lot more. Finding stable employment is part of phase 2 as well. Finding stable employment that works around your children and your career goals, because I have been in that position too as well. I have found awesome jobs. However, they were from 2 to 10 p.m. I can't work from 2 to 10. I have at the time, an 8-year-old. I'm not leaving my son at home by himself. So when I say find employment that geared toward your child, their situation, and your career, I've been in RN school. I had worked at jobs that it wouldn't allow me to study or go to school as I wanted to. So you have to. That's important to start there, because the more you go and you prosper, and the more success that you have, your children and your career will always be stable, because you'll put those first. Work on getting transportation if needed. Starting your checking and saving account.
That's deep.
Yes. And then there's phase 3. Phase 3 would just be pretty much, you already set your goals in phase 2. I'm sorry, I want to go back to phase 2. Phase 2 will also offer what I want to put on grounds of the Women's Transition Home, which will be business classes, cosmetology school, and a CNA school. That way the women that are there have 3 different opportunities to get on their feet. And like I said, cosmetology school will be one, CNA school will be another, and I have some things I want to do with my sister and brother-in-law who teach business classes. I will fly them in certain months of the year in certain women's phases to be taught how to start their own businesses. That way you are successful as far as financially when you're leaving this women's transition home, which is very important. And then we have phase 3. Phase 3 is just keeping up with working, going to school, taking care of the kids, maintaining your finances, maintaining that peace that you done got now that you 6 months in, and ensuring that your housing will be safe for you when you leave. A few things that I know that I have to work with and that I'm going to need is credit repair specialists, appliance stores. I want to work with them to furniture, the 2-bedroom apartment home. Sorry, I had to say it slow because I get caught up. I'm going to need mentors. I'm going to hold workshops, computers. I want to get in touch with people with HUD housing. Michigan Works is awesome. I know I keep saying I'm a nurse, but Michigan Works has helped me out numerous of times from the age of 18 up until now. They are really good with finding employment for young women and men, for that matter. Car companies, activity centers to take the women to while they're at the women's transition home, to get them out of there, to get them some type of peace of mind. Landscaping plumbers, graphic designers, cosmetologists, of course the teacher school. Get an RN to run the CNA school. Hopefully God bless me to have my RN very, very soon. Very, very, very soon. I'm going to run my own CNA and LPN school once that happens. In business. And that's what the Women Build Women transition.
That's your 3 phases of Women Build Women.
Yes, transition. And that's what I'm geared to. That's my 5-year goal. Getting that home up and running with the 2-bedroom apartment. I might start smaller, but eventually I do want that. And I want it in the area, in the community of St. Clair Shores. And I wanted to tell you why. Because the resources there that was provided to me that I couldn't get in the inner city was awesome. The support was awesome between DHS. The resources with the food banks were better. So that's why I want to put it in that community.
St. Clair Shores?
In St. Clair Shores, yes. I have a grounds that I'm looking into that everyone keeps telling me that's too much, that's too much. But when you pray and you believe in God and He brings vision for it, I know it's going to be done. I just got to stay patient and continue to believe in myself and see that 5-year vision come about.
Had that courage.
And have that courage that we were talking about.
A lot of times, we stop ourselves.
Yes, definitely.
We stop ourselves. I know I got in my own way plenty of times.
Yes, and we let other people get in our way sometimes. You know what I mean? I'm far from perfect. I'm far from perfect. I still go through something. But I have been through enough to help another woman out. I have been through enough to help another young man or young lady out.
So sweet. And as I was telling you before the show, they're setting up for an event around 5 o'clock. So these are DJs every Thursday. Y'all can come out here to the congregation and support the DJs from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Incredible show they got going on. But right now we got Women Build Women.
Women Build Women.
On the Sharp Mind Podcast. All right. Well, a staple of the Sharp Mind Podcast is I asked everyone if you can talk to your younger self, that 14-year-old Naisha, that 16-year-old Naisha, maybe even that 18-year-old Naisha.
Maybe even that 25-year-old Naisha.
You feel me?
Okay.
What's something that you would tell yourself, Queen?
Stay focused. Believe in yourself. Don't let no man and or no woman bring you down. You are the head and not the tail. Above and never beneath. More than a conqueror. I can do all things in Christ that strengthens me. It's okay to go through, but get through and let it go. And that's what I'll tell my younger self.
Man, that's
you are a queen.
That's so powerful, because you are a queen.
Yes.
And you've been that since I met you in 6th grade, Spain Middle School.
No, we met in 5th grade.
Ooh.
I was in Mr. McLean class.
I was in Mr. Rogers' class. True story. We've been knowing each other for a long time, Queen. That's like 31 to, that's like 20 years.
Yeah, 20 plus
That's 20 plus years.
The
All right. The Sharp Mind Podcast. You feel me? President and founder of Sharpen Our Minds.
Okay.
Let's get it.
Tutoring service as well with this virtual learning out here. If you need a tutor.
You know?
Sharpen Our Minds is open for
Ooh,
business.
ooh.
Awesome.
Don't do
Helping
it.
my son, so
Don't-
please book with them. I know we all need an extra helping hand. I know I do. I know other people can use someone who come in and tutor, maybe for 30 minutes or an hour, or maybe 2 hours, however you want. Sharpen our minds.
Well, I'm only starting off at $10 an hour, y'all, so I'm very affordable, just to help everybody out. But a little bit, your answer was everything. I got a little sister, 14-year-old, Anaya Hall. She watches my show, and your words are powerful,
Yeah.
truly, because, you know, this podcast and some of the energy and stuff I share on these podcasts is therapeutic for me, Queen.
Yes.
So I appreciate you very much. I know we wrapping up this podcast, but I couldn't not ask you. I know October is coming up.
Yes.
Do you have anything planned for Breast Cancer Awareness Month?
Yes, I am going to do a podcast. I'm
Who
working
you doing a podcast with?
the Sharp Mind. I am working on a physician getting some great insight on breast cancer awareness, things that you eat, should be in your diet, your exercise. I'm also working on getting a breast cancer survivor and someone who is going through it now to sit down and do the podcast with me. So, get all that together next month. I will be doing the Women Build Women Breast Cancer Awareness Podcast next month. Watch out for that.
Y'all look out for that.
Shout out to Main Strip Salon.
Shout out to Main Strip.
Shout out to Main.
And make sure y'all go to YouTube and subscribe to the Sharp Mind Podcast.
And go to YouTube and subscribe to Women Build Women Podcast.
No doubt. No doubt. I love it. Thank you for your time today, Queen.
Thank you.
I think it's safe to say we did it. Women Build Women, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all support Facebook, Instagram, all over.
Yes,
It's a
Women
wrap.
Build Women.
Happy Thursday. This is what we doing on the Sharp Mind Podcast, baby. Let's get it.